So let us now come to the next classification of the system. So till now we have discussed about the three types of classification. Again I am repeating. So the first classification we have done is the static and dynamic system, that is the memoryless and memory system. Next classification what we have done is the casual non-casual system. So casual means what happens? What we know that if a system will depends upon the present and past is the casual. Non-casual means if it is go for the future then of the input, then you can find that this is a non-casual system, right? So after casual non-casual we have analyzed about the linear non-linear system. So linear non-linear what we have to do? So that the first of the signals, weighted sum of the signals is given to the system. We have to give the signals, weighted signals, and then give to the system. Second case what happens? Give the signals individual to system, then add. So if these two are equal, then you can tell this is linear. And otherwise what happens? The system is non-linear. So till now what happens? These things we have discussed. So now coming to the next type of system is known as the time invariant and time variant system. This is also very important and it is very easy to understand. So now what happens? So I am giving simple example here. What is time variant and what is time invariant? So now what happens? I am giving the input now and I am giving the I am finding the output at the instant only. Can you understand what I am telling here? So at 10 am, I am telling here at 10 am I am giving the input to a system and instantly at 10 am only I am getting the output. So now what happens? I have delayed 5 minutes to give the input. If same delay will be there at the output, same 5-minute delay will be there at the output, then I can tell that the system is time invariant system. Means if I delay in the input side, if same delay will be occurs at the output side, then we can tell that this is a time invariant system. It will not depend upon the time. So again I am telling. So we will discuss these things. So let me tell the definition here. So the definition is also very important because in the exam what happens, the definition may be asked. So define a time invariant system. So at the time what happens, you have to write the definition with one example. Similarly, it may be asked like this: define the linear non-linear system. You have to write the definition. What is the definition of linear system? If a system will obey the principle of superposition and homogeneity, then the system is known as linear system. Then you can write an example, right? Similarly, what happens? What is a time invariant system? So very simple thing. Now see. So time invariant is the property of a system which makes the behavior of the system independent of time. Means what happens? In this case, remember these things. In this case what happens? The system is independent of time. The system will not depend on the time. So if the system will not depend on the time, then what happens? We can tell that the system is time is in invariance. So let us see these things. The behavior of a system does not depend on the time at which the input is applied. So now what happens? How can you tell the time invariant? If the behavior of a system does not depend on the time at which the input is applied, is also known as the time invariant. So in simple thing, so if you are confusing about this definition, a simple definition you can write. So what is the definition? A system is said to be time invariant. A system is said to be time invariant if its input and output characteristics do not change with time. Right? So remember these things. So when it is known as time invariant, if the input and output characteristics of a system do not change with time, then we can tell that the system is a time invariant system. So I will tell the example. That is, time shift in the input results in a corresponding time shift in the output. So let us see what does it mean. So now what happens? I am taking a system like this and giving simple example, right? So this is x of t, input signal, this is your y of t, output. So when I am giving the input signal like this, a rectangular I am getting a signal like this, half circle like signals I am getting, right? So in both the cases, this is time axis. This is time. This is time. And let I'm taking the time from 0 to 2. This output also 0 to 2. So now what is the next step? Let I'm doing like this. I am shifting by some unit. Now I am shifting the x of t by t unit. If same shift is occurs in the output side with the same signal, right? Then I can tell that this is a time invariant system. So remember this thing. This is known as the so remember these things. Again I am telling. So if we delay the time in the input, if same delay occurs in the output, then we can tell that this is a time invariant system. So this is the definition of whatever I have written here. A system is said to be time invariant if its input and output characteristics do not change with time. Then what happens? So now see what happens. Its characteristics do not change time. If it is delayed, it is delaying. So then no change is there. In time, there is no change of the characteristics. Then what happens? We are calling that the system is a time invariant system. So now what happens? That is time shift in the input. So what do you write? Same thing I have done here. Time shift in the input results a corresponding time shift in the output. Okay? So now what happens? So whatever the time I am doing, shifting in the input side, if same time I can find shifted output, then I can tell that this is time invariant system. So now what happens? This is the definition of the time invariant and time invariant. No, sorry, time variant. So now what happens in the exam? So some equation will be given to you. Some system characteristics will be given to you. Some system function will be given to you, and you have to test that whether the system is time variant or time invariant. So how to test? So very simple thing what we have to do here. So then you have to go for 2 steps. Only 2-step problem is there, right? So what you have to do first? So I am writing these things. So let x of t be input. Let x of t I am writing here. X of t is the input signal, and let x of t minus t be the delayed input signal. I assumed here. Remember these things. What I have assumed here? X of t the input signal and x of t minus t in the input delayed signal, right? So now what you have to do? How to solve the problem? I'll solve the problem. So it is very easy. So how to solve? So we know that y of t is equal to t of x of t. Now see what I can write here. We can write like this. I am taking the system here. So y of t equal to tx of t, right? So now what you write here? So we have to delay the time by t minus t. So what you can write? What is the first step here? The first step is that y of tt. So what is y of tt? That is that we have to delay the input by t unit. So you can write this. This can be written as t of x of t minus t. So what I am giving here? I am delaying the input signal and give it to the system. Which one is known as? I have taken this is as the y of t minus t, right? So next what happens? This can you can find this thing? This can be written as y of t when x of t equal to x of t minus t. So we'll solve it. But remember these things, how to do these things. First instant, what you have to do here? Just delay the input signal by t unit and see what is the output. This is the expression I have written, right? In the second instant, what you have to do here? Just delay the output only. So how to delay the output? Just you can delay the output by taking t is equal to t minus t. So if these two equations, if these two results are equal, then what happens? We can tell that the system is a time invariant system. Again I am telling what is what you have to do here? This is a step we have to understand. So there is this step. So what you have to do? You have to define y of tt and y of t minus t. What is y of tt? This is the input delayed output. This is the output delay. Simple technically, this y of tt is the input delayed output. Means what happens? In this case, I delayed. See here, y of tt equal to t function of x of t minus t. I delayed the input now. So how can you find the delay? By taking x of t equal to x of t minus t, we can delay the input side. Similarly, first what happens? You delay the input side, see the output. What is the output you are getting? Second instant what happens? Delay only the output side, and we have to see that whether these two things are equal or not. If equal, then this is a time invariant system. So let me take a simple example how to do these things. So let us taking a function like this, y of t equal to t square x of t, right? So what is the function here? Y of t equal to t square x of t. So now how to analyze the system is a time variant or time invariant. So same thing we have to do here. First of all, we have to find the value of y of tt. So y of tt means what we can write here very simply, very interesting. So what is y of tt? We know that same formula I am maintaining, t of x of t minus t. So the question, what the question means, so we can write the question like this. I can draw here. If I am giving a signal x of t as the input, what I am getting here? I am getting output is the output is t square x of t, right? So what is input? Input is only x of t. Output is t square x of t, right? So now see, I am solving the problem. So y of tt equal to t x of t minus t means what is our aim first? Our aim is to first delay the input signal, right? So t x of t means what I can do here? We can do like this: y of t, we have to delay x of t equal to x of t minus t. Same thing I am writing. So now, if I delay the input signal, so if I delay the input signal, so what I will get? I will get here t square x of t minus t. Because simple thing, only I have delayed the input signal. What is input signal here? Input signal is x of t. So I have delayed here t square x of t minus t. Second instant we have to do here, we have to delay the output time. We have to delay the output time. So we can write here y of t minus t equal to y of t equal to t minus time. So now see what it is. We are delaying the output time. So output time is what happens? What is the output now? Output is t square x of t. Output is t square x of t. So t square x of t means you have to delay. So both the things you will delay now. So what you can write? T minus t square x of t minus t. Can you like this? So try to don't confuse here. When I am delaying the output, so all the t will be delayed here. So that is t minus t square x of t minus t. In the first case, I have delayed only the input signal. See here, this is only input signal is delayed. Second case, what happens? I am substituting output t equal to t minus t means both will be delayed. So now what happens? This both the things are not equal means this is a time variant system. Time variant. Getting? So this is the procedure how to follow the time variant or time invariant. Similarly, what happens in the question, some problems can be asked like differential equation. So how to do in that case? That is very easy. How to solve the differential equation? So I am writing. Let the equation is given like this. Another equation given like this. So now see what happens. If in the exam what happens, there are two types of questions can be asked, right? So one type is that in the differential equation only constant is multiplied. See, but the constant is multiplied. 1 3 is multiplied here, 1 is multiplied here, another constant, 3 is multiplied here, 1 is multiplied. Only constants are multiplied. In the second equation what happens? Time variable is multiplied. See, this time variable t is multiplied. So if in a differential equation one time variable is present, at that time what happens? This system will be go to the time variant. Whereas if only constants are there, this will go to the time invariant. So remember these things. This is most important. No need to test anything. If in a differential equation, only the differentiation part or the y of t, derivative of y of t are multiplied with the constant. At that time, what happens? This is time invariant. Whereas if any time variable is present here, this t square is present here, I can write this like this t square. Like I am writing t square here. Like this question you can get t square will be there or t is present here. At that time, what happens? This is the time variant. So now by only watching the equation, you can tell that which one is time invariant and time variant. Similarly, what happens? You can solve more examples. Let me take another example. Let us write like this: y of t equal to x of minus t. Time variant or time invariant. Same thing you can do here. So what you can do here? First, delay the input. Next, delay the total. So I can write like this: y of t equal to t x of t minus t. Only I am delaying the input. This can be written as a y of t x of t equal to x of t minus t. So now what happens? Only I have to delay the input. So what you will get here? I will get here x of minus t like this. Sorry. Only I have delayed the input. Next step what happens? I will delay the total. So at the time what you will write here? It will come here x of minus of x minus t. Can I like this? Yes. Now replace t by t minus t. So what you will get here? This can be written as x of minus t plus t. See, these both are not equal. So this is again time variant. So what you will get? This time variant. Similarly, what happens? You can solve any type of questions, any type of problem will be there. So this is the procedure to solve whether a system is time variant or time invariant. Again I am telling, if both are equal, this is time invariant. If both are not equal, this is time variant. So coming to the next type of system is known as the stable unstable system. So this is very interesting. So what is a stable system and what is an unstable system, right? So you can tell like this: if a system is satisfying the BIBO criteria. So what is BIBO? So I will write the definition later on. First, listen. What is BIBO? BIBO is known as the bounded input, bounded output. So if a system is satisfying the BIBO criteria, then we can tell that this is a stable system. So what does it mean? It means that, so let I am taking a system. So let I am taking a system here. I am giving the input signal is like this. This is a rectangular signal. So, and I am getting a output is a triangular signal, right? So now what happens? See, this signal is purely bounded signal because this signal after 0 to 2, let me write here. After 2, the signal is finished. No value is there. This is bounded. So let me take it like this here, 0 to 5. After 5, that signal's amplitude is 0, right? That is also bounded. So if in a system the input is bounded as well as output is bounded, at that time we can tell that system is a stable system. Again I am telling, if in a system the input and output both are bounded, bounded means what happens? It will be decreasing. So let me write another like this is bounded, right? So a sine wave is a bounded. This is amplitude is constant. These are bounded. So if in a system is satisfy the criteria of BIBO, that is for bounded input, if we will get a bounded output, then we can tell that the system is a stable system. So what is unbounded? Let us draw a signal like this. This is unbounded signal. It will be increasing. It will going to increasing. It will going to infinite. So it is unbounded system. Similarly, what happens? I can draw like this. This is unbounded. So if in the input or output these type of signals are present, then what happens? We can tell that this is a unstable system, right? So let me write the definitions of the bounded and unbounded system. So let us take the definition of this, the stable and unstable system. This is very easy, as I discussed with you that if the input is bounded and output is bounded, then you can tell that the system is a stable system, right? So now what happens? There are two things we have to see for a system stability. So first of all, we have to see that. So in a system, what happens? Let I write a system here. So let x of t the input signal, y of t is output signal. So now what happens? If we are giving input signal to a system, we can get the output depending upon the impulse response. We will discuss the impulse response in the third unit, right? So, or second unit. So, what is impulse response? This is the characteristics of the system, like these things. So, impulse response means what happens? How the system behaves when the input signal is the impulse signal. The characteristics you cannot. Details we will see after that. This is very important topic, the impulse response of the system. So h of t is the let I am writing. For now only remember these things. The h of t is the impulse response of the system, right? So now what happens? By taking the consideration of x t, y t, the input signal and output signal, we can judge a system is stable or not. That is, till now what I told that if the input and output both are bounded, then we can tell that system is stable system. So I have written like this. Let the input signal x of t is bounded. Means what is right? X of t mod. Bounded means x of t mod must be less than mx, less than infinite. So what is mx? Mx is a positive real number. Means what happens? The mode of x of t must be less than infinite. The signal cannot be unbounded. The signal cannot be diverse. The signal must be a converging signal. Right? So we are writing like this. Mx is the positive real number. So the value must be less than the positive real number or infinite, right? Similarly, for the bounded input. Similarly, for bounded output, what you can write? y of t mod equal to less than equal to my is less than infinite. This is also a positive real number. So if this is a condition for the bounded input and this is a condition for the bounded output. So if a system will satisfy these two conditions, then you can tell that the system is a stable system, right? So now what happens? Let the input and outputs are not given to the system. So what is this interesting that these two things are not given, but the impulse response means the characteristic of the system is given to you. At that time also, you can tell that the system is stable or not by only watching the h of t or the impulse response. So how will you know? This is the condition. The necessary and sufficient condition for a system to be BIBO stable is, again telling, so the necessity and sufficient condition for a system to be BIBO stable is, this is the important condition. Remember these things. That is, what is the condition? I am writing here again here, minus infinite to infinite h of t mod dt must be less than infinite. So this is a condition, very important condition. Is remember this is Wilson's one question depending upon this condition. So if this condition satisfy, then also you can tell that the system is a stable system. This is the necessary and sufficient condition. If this condition satisfy, no need to see about the input output. That you can tell that system is stable or not, right? So this is the necessary condition of the stability criteria. So now what happens? I can solve 1-2 examples. Why? We can solve whether system is stable or not. So let me take the first example here. The first example that I am writing like this, y of t equal to this is given. So input output is given here. So now what happens? Very simple thing. What is given here? X of t is less than equal to 8. Means directly you can tell that it is bounded. It is less than 8. So it is a bounded input, BI. So next what happens? What is given here? Y of t equal to e to the power xt. E to the power xt means what happens? Again, we can write that. So if I put the value of xt here, x mod is less than equal to 8. So the value of xt will be a minus 8 to 8. Right? If I put value, what you can find here? Minus 8 less than equal to yt less than equal to e to the power 8. Same thing you are finding here. So if I put the value of xt here, we are getting that the yt is coming in between the e to the power minus 8 to e to the power 8. Again, this is also bounded output. So I can tell the system is stable system. Very simple thing. We have to see that whether input is bounded or not. Yes, input is bounded. Just put the value of xt here. If I put the value of xt, it's coming like this. Output is also bounded. So you can tell that the system is stable system. Similarly, the next example is very simple example. Y of t equal to y of t equal to t plus 5 u of t. T plus 5 means what? This is a ramp signal, right? We know what it is. What is t? This is t. T plus 5 means t plus 5 is shifted to minus 5. Right? So it is multiplied with the u of t. So now what happens? As ramp function is there, this is increasing function. Directly you can tell that this is also a unbounded, because yt is increasing function here. Ramp means what means increasing function. So what you can write here? Increasing means what happens? You can tell that this is a unbounded, because yt is nothing but the output. If output is unbounded, directly no need to test anything. Directly you can tell this is an unstable system. Similarly, coming to the next problem, we can write like this. Let h of t is given now. Let h of t equal to e to the minus 2t ut. So let us test that signal is or system is bounded or not. Oh, sorry, system is stable or not, right? So what is the condition we know? We know that for stability, we know that minus infinite to infinite, h of t mod must be less than infinite. So dt will be there, right? So this can be written as here. Let us do the integration. Minus infinite to infinite, e to the minus 2t mod dt. Ut is also there, right? So ut there means I know, I told already that now the integration limit will be changed. As ut is there, ut start from the 0. What is ut? E to the minus 2t. See, this is e to the minus 2t is multiplied by u of t. So after multiplication, what we will get? We will get a function like this. Start from 0. When ut is multiplied to any function, it will start from 0. So I can change the limit now. 0 to infinite. E to the minus 2t into dt. Right? This can be written as your e to the minus 2t divided by minus 2 from 0 to infinite. This can be written as 1 by 2 coming here 1 by 2. So now what we are getting here? We are getting the value will be here 1 by 2. So which one is less than infinite? What is the condition? If this integration is less than infinite, then this is a stable system. 1 by 2 is less than infinite, right? So then you can tell that this is stable system, right? Similarly, if I solve another problem by only erase the 2t. Let us solve these things. Let I am doing like this, e to the 2t. So e to the 2t means what we will get? This 2 will be same formula, e to the 2t ut. Same thing we can do here, e to the 2. Neglect the minus. So what we will get? 2. This minus will be get same cell. So what we will get here? This will be e to the infinite minus 0. So e to the infinite is coming here infinite. So now see, e to the 2t ut is a unstable system. So remember these things. So depending upon the value of h of t also we can tell that system is stable, unstable or stable. Again telling, if the value, the formula very important here, minus infinite to infinite, h of t mod dt must be less than infinite for a stable system. What is st? St is the impulse response of the system. It is not the impulse response of the system. This is about the stable unstable system. The last type of system is the invertible non-invertible system. So let us come to the last type of classification is the invertible and non-invertible system. This is very simple and very easy system. So there is no more analysis is there, or it's very simple only. So let us see what is the invertible system. So if a system has a unique relationship between input x of t and output y of t, then the system is known as invertible system, otherwise non-invertible. Again I am telling, if a system has a unique relationship between input signal x of t and output y of t, then you can tell that the system is a invertible system. So what is the unique relationship? Let us know these things. So this is the main point here. This is the most important point. If an inverse system exists which when cascaded with the original system produces an output equal to the input of the first system, then it is known as invertible system. So let us take an example here. So let I am taking a system y of t equal to 5 into x of t. Right? So what does it mean? It means like this. It is meaning like this. When I am giving an input signal x of t, the system produces 5 into x of t. This is the system is given to us. Now let us test that whether the system is invertible or non-invertible, right? So what is the definition? The definition is like this. What I am doing here now, see first. What is the definition? If an inverse system exists, which when cascaded with the original system. So now what is this system? This is inverse system. So when the system is cascaded with the inverse system, and we will get the output is same as the input signal, then it is known as the invertible system. Means what I can see here. So even giving here x of t, very simple thing, and giving here x of t. So what will you get here? 5 into x of t. Inverse system means what happens? It will divide by 5, right? So if it is multiplied by 5, if the system is multiplied by 5, inverse means divide by 5. After divide by, what will you get here? X of t, same signal. Now what happens? See this output, the output of the inverted is equal to the original input signal. Now what you can tell? This is a invertible system. Getting again, I am telling what is invertible. If the inverse system is cascaded to the original system, and the output of the last, if you get the original input, then this is known as the invertible system. So this is the things. So what I am giving here, the system will multiply with the input with 5. Inverse means divide by 5, right? So what I am getting here, 5 into x of t. Divide by 5 will be your x of t. So this x of t and x of t are equal. So it's an invertible system. So let us take another example here. Y of t equal to x square of t. Let us take an example. So now see what you can write. Same thing you can do. So what is the system is telling here? So if they are giving you a system the x of t, we are getting x square of t. So let us test invertible or not. Same thing I am doing here. I am giving here x of t. This is t. Next will be your t inverse like this. So this is squaring system. Squaring inverse is the square root, right? So now what happens? I am giving here x of t. What we will get here? X square of t. What is the output we will get? I will get plus minus x of t. Remember these things. This is most important thing. After the square root, we will not get only plus. Plus minus both the things I am getting. So now what happens here? The same input is not here. Minus was not here. Only plus was there in the input side. Or what is the minus? Minus is not there. So what happens? This system is non-invertible system. So remember this thing that if the inverse system output is same as the input signal only, then you can tell the invertible system. Means here what happens? You are giving x of t. After squaring, you are getting an x square of t. But after root over, by taking the inverse system, what are you getting here? Plus minus x of t. So here, as in the input side, minus is not present. Only plus is present. So you can tell that the system is a non-invertible system. So this is the system classification. Again I am telling 6 type of classifications are there. First one is the static and dynamic, that is memory and memoryless, right? Second one is that casual, non-casual, that is casual means present and the past, non-casual means future. Next one is the linear, non-linear. Linear means superposition and homogeneity. If it did not satisfy this superposition homogeneity, then we will go for the non-linear. Third one is the time variant and time invariant. Time invariant means same delay. If you delay the input and same delay we can find the output. Time invariant, otherwise time variant. That is the fifth one is the stable. Unstable means BIBO criteria for bounded input. The output must be bounded, so the system will be stable. Or you can tell that integration from minus into infinite, h of t mode is less than infinite. That is the impulse response from minus into infinite integration must be less than infinite. That is also stable system, otherwise unstable. And the last one is the invertible, non-invertible. So if you can reconstruct the input signal by taking the inverse of the system from the output exactly, then you can tell that this is invertible, otherwise non-invertible. So this is about the system classification. So in the next class we will go for the signal and vector analogy.